Hello, my name is Jessica Eason, and I am a third year teacher, and I am teaching second grade this upcoming school year at Southwest Charlotte STEM Academy. Prior to now, I was at Sugar Creek Charter School, and I taught second grade there. And then this past school year, I taught first grade, and I found out that second grade might be my jam. I wasn't really feeling first grade as much. But I'm hoping for a really good year for second grade again because I get to loop with my kids. So I'm really excited about that. So the standards that I decided to address in my lesson plans throughout the semester were various, right? So my social studies standards were based on communities. I felt like if I chose communities, a topic like communities, I would be able to integrate that subject into or that topic into many different subjects. Instead of struggling to figure out how to integrate it, it would be more natural and the kids would enjoy it. So I'm going to go through my list really quickly so that I don't run out of time. But the first standard I hit was students will use geographic representations, terms, and technologies to process information from a spatial perspective. So they were using tools such as a compass rose. They were using rulers within the classroom to measure out how far communities were from other communities. And they were able to use their cardinal directions, knowing what was north, south, east, and west, and what that would look like. Also, that would be posted in the classroom for them to use as like a visual to know what would be north of the desk, what would be south of the desk, what would be west of the restroom in the classroom. So I felt like that would be a really good flow for the lesson. The next one would be students will learn how humans and the environment interact within the local community. So seeing that we were talking about communities, communities don't just involve us humans, right? They involve everything that surround us and are around us. So that's plants, animals. So giving students the background knowledge of, hey, you see that cat in your yard, or you have a dog at home, or that squirrel in the tree. Those are all sorts of things that are a part of your community, in our community, even at school too. The next one, students will understand the diversity of people in the local community. In 2020, that is a really, really big deal for our students, especially our Black and Brown students, to know that there is diversity, maybe not at our school, but there are schools that have diversity. And even if we can't get that at our school, we can still expose our students to diversity outside of the community that they come from. So I think that's a really, really good standard to hit on. The next one I used was use the language of visual arts to communicate effectively. So being able to communicate with their partners during group work, being able to communicate with myself when there's a problem or an issue, or even when they just want to express a thought, is a really, really big social skill that some students lack or some students don't know how to do coming into first grade or even second grade if they haven't had that practice and experience in the classroom or at home. So that definitely gave me a chance to hit on some things that students socially need, but also hit on them academically. My next one was measurement and data. So like I said before, students were measuring between communities. So how far would Sarah's community be from Little John's community? Like giving them that practice, that um, awareness that they need in order to be successful, even in society, knowing how far they live from the store, where's the nearest hospital. This would give them that practice in class that would also be able to relate to a real world situation. My next one was understand characteristics of various environments and behaviors of humans that enable plants and animals to survive. So yes, we have all of these things around us in our community, but how do we take care of it, right? You have a dog at home, so how do you take care of your dog? So being able to activate that prior schema during the lesson to have students realize like, hey, I might not have learned this explicitly, but these are things that I do at home that I know how to do that I can contribute to the class discussion at school. My teacher might not have taught me, my mom might have taught me, right? But those are still things that we can use within the lesson that can help the lesson thrive, because students are able to contribute more and they know more from experience instead of just in class resources. My last one was students will be able to identify key ideas and evidence in a piece of literature. Reading is my jam, okay? And students, well, the first year I taught second grade, I realized how fundamental reading was and how many of our students didn't know how to go back and find details. They didn't know what the main idea was or how to recognize the characters, the settings, the events, or the important things that you need to pull from the story in order to understand what you're reading. So by hitting those things within my lesson plans, that gave me a chance to not only check for understanding and know if they were understanding what we read, which was the book The Gift, but it also gave me a chance to go back and say, hey, you know what? Did you understand it? And were you able to relate, experience to it? Were you able to take what you've been through or what you've experienced in class and out of class and contribute it to what we read in class and bring the two together to say, hey, oh, well, in the book I noticed this, and I also noticed this because I do this at home, or I've done this, or my mom used to do this, or my dad used to do this. So being able to compare and contrast their life with the story of the book that we read. Integration. So this class has definitely gave me ample resources to learn how to integrate my lessons. I will definitely be using that in the fall because I haven't been, not much, and not intentionally either. So social studies, the students were learning about how communities are related in different ways through different subjects. When I integrated social studies and math, the students were able to understand the elements of a math, but during that lesson, students measured and compared where buildings in the community were located. So that put community piece along with measuring, which brought my community and measuring together for social studies and math. Social studies and science, students learn about the basic needs of animals and plants in their community and how different animals in different environments operate either the same or differently, and they were able to give examples of that to show mastery, which is a really, really, really good one. So I was able to integrate science and social studies together by the environment around us, the things in it around us, which are plants and animals, and how they interact based on where they are placed in the different communities. The same with us as humans, how we operate differently based on where we're from or where we stay or where we live, and the resources available. In social studies and language arts, students learn about how and why our community is special. So I chose the book The Gift because sometimes I think with the little ones, you have to teach a lesson, right? You can't just say, oh, the book is about the gift, and what do you think this is going to be about? And common answer would probably be somebody is getting a gift. Somebody is giving somebody a gift for Christmas or birthday. But when you preface with the social studies standards before this one about communities, students' schema clicks. It goes into a thing of where they remember, like, oh, well, if we're talking about communities, I don't think anybody gave anybody a gift, but I know my community is special because of this, and somebody else might not have this in their community. So throughout the year, I've been doing life skills lessons to where students are able to recognize the different specialties and the different importance of different communities, right? And how people are important, even if they don't have these fancy, nice, big things. Their work in the community, their hard work in the community, any of those things can contribute to how special a community may be or how special a family may be, right? We don't have to get these really, really big gifts during Christmas for our mom and our dad and our grandma and grandpa to be special people. It's what they can contribute to us, and it's not always physically a gift. So by my students knowing that, I think they would have caught on during this lesson to know that, oh, this community is special because they had all these people who were helping each other, right? So that was a really good one, I think, for social studies and language arts, being able to connect prior schemas, social studies for communities, and language arts, the reading piece to go back and identify those key details, and also having students go back and do that to their own community in different assignments that were assigned in that lesson. So what have I learned? I've learned so many things in this course, and I'm really glad that I took it. Um, First is how to integrate lessons intentionally. I've done it before, but it hasn't been planned out intentionally to where I can say, oh well, I integrated this and I hit this standard and I did this. It was honestly not planned. It was something I thought about later, like, oh, we did learn about that. So I properly learned how to integrate lessons. My next one is time management for lessons. Sometimes I run out of time because I like to elaborate really, really, really deep when it comes to my kids so I can make sure they understand. But by integrating, it's going to give me that time management piece that I need in order to keep going. I can check for mastery, keep it pushing, and then still be able to hit the different subjects that I want to hit within, or topics within social studies or any other subject that may get pushed to the side. Informal mastery assessment. I learned throughout planning for these lesson plans that I was able to integrate these quick hit assessments to know if students were able to get it. And I have been doing progressive monitoring throughout the last couple of years. But I don't know, the lesson plan has definitely given me a format that allows me to hit it and then keep moving and hit the students that I need and not feel so overwhelmed from planning. That's what it feels like right now. But I'll know in the fall when I actually try it in the classroom. My next one is social studies importance as far as social skills, geography, lifelong lessons are all things that can contribute to our students learning, and sometimes it can get pushed to the side because of the lack of testing that it requires for the state. So being able to hit those things, even if I don't have enough time during my social studies or science block during that 6 weeks, being able to actually hit it in different parts of my day, whether that's like morning meeting or our end of day circle or anything like that, I'm able to hit it really quickly and not feel so bad about skipping over things that I know would be very, very helpful for them. And then lastly, I have my references, which is our book, and an article that I used in the beginning for one of my lessons and literature reviews. But thank you so much for having me in this class. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm so sorry I went over my time. I just wanted to make sure I could explain everything to you. Best wishes to you this summer, and maybe I'll have another class with you soon. All right, have a good one.